Hello and welcome to Louise Singleton Creations and another Wednesday review day, and my goodness have I got a review for you today. WeCreat have just launched their amazing portable laser engraver and cutter, the Lumos. Here it is. They've taken everything that people love about portable lasers and pushed it further to come up with this parcel of purple loveliness. Not only does it have a 10-watt diode laser, it also has a 3-watt, not a 2-watt, a 3-watt infrared laser, making it so much quicker. So if you would like to turn your ideas into income or just elevate your hobby to another level, stay tuned and enjoy the video. WeCreat say that the Lumos is deeper, faster, more versatile and easier to use, and today I'm definitely going to find out for myself. But before I do that, I want to show you what was in the box and give you a closer look at the machine. If you want to go straight to the demonstrations, please use the chapter markers in the timeline. Here you can see most of the things that were in the box. Here we have the black working panel, which is for cutting materials. And then we have the purple one, which is removable, and that fits in the base of the Lumos. We have two positioning pieces which screw into the purple panel. And then there is the exhaust hose and the exhaust clamp, a wrench, a screwdriver and a USB converter. There's also a lens cap, a USB cord and two panels of basswood. And photographed separately, because I've already connected them, we have the exhaust hose connector and the power cord. And last but not least, we have the Lumos, which is sitting on my turntable because I'm going to show you all the way around it. Its orange screen contrasts perfectly with the purple metal, but it's not just there to look good. It's designed to protect your eyes from the lasers, so you don't need to worry about watching it at work. So no more goggles necessary with this one. So as it turns around, the first thing you're going to see is the manual focus button. As you turn it left and right, the laser head will move up and down. And as it moves up and down, this is how it will look from the other side. When the red light and the blue light join together, you know it's focused. If you prefer, you can press the small button underneath, which is the autofocus button. Further down, we have the rotary port and the auxiliary port. And a little further around, we have the USB port and the power port. And then finally, on the left-hand side, we have the power switch. And so you will see that the design of this is very simple and perfect for beginners, I think. And here's one last thing you couldn't see before, the start button. If you've seen any of my other laser engraving videos, you may already know that I already have the WeCreat Vista, which I love to bits, and it's connected to the WeCreat air purifier, which is underneath the work surface you can see here, and there's the exhaust hose there, which would be connected to the Vista, but I've disconnected it because I want to connect it to my Lumos just for now. You don't have to have a purifier, you can put the hose out of the window. And there's the air purifier underneath, you see. It's just really handy if you don't have any way of getting the exhaust hose outside. So to get this video made in time for the launch of the Lumos, I was in a bit of a hurry and I needed a temporary home for my Lumos. I wanted to connect it to the hose, as you already know, and so what I decided to do was put a strong board on top of my Vista and have my Lumos on top of the Vista. I know it's not ideal and probably not recommended, but that's what I did. And here I was just kind of trying to demonstrate how it's not very heavy, but how do you demonstrate by showing someone that something's not heavy? Because it all depends, doesn't it, on how strong you are. I actually do quite a lot of weight training, so for me saying it's not heavy might not mean much. Anyway, I found that it was quite easy to move from one place to another. There are several ways the Lumos will be useful to you in business. You can take advantage of its portability and take it to craft fairs where personalised items are bound to draw in many customers. And if you're engraving with the infrared 3-watt laser, the queues will go down so much quicker than ever before. The Lumos is the only portable laser on the market with a 10-watt diode laser and a 3-watt infrared laser, resulting in much speedier processing times. And in the time it's taken me to tell you all of that, I've engraved this pendant, which is also the same pendant that I'm wearing, and this will be so popular at craft events or even if you work from home making personalised items. Another reason the Lumos might appeal to you for business is to do with space. If you're very limited on space, laser engraving could be an issue, but not with the Lumos. Let's go and have a look at the size of its footprint. The base measures approximately 26 centimetres by 25 centimetres, which is just about the same size as a dinner plate, so that's not much space to take up in your craft room, is it? So my YouTube channel does take up most of my time, but if I were to choose a side hustle with the Lumos, it would be candles. I love making my own candle vessels, and with the Lumos I can engrave them too and also add some more personalisation. So I'm going to show you that now using the Rotary tool. Here you can see everything that came with the rotary attachment for the Lumos. I'm not going to go through it all because the video will end up being too long. It's just a brief overview today, but look how easy it is to, change the size of it. Very easy. And my favourite thing about it is the fact that you can tilt it, and that is really for when you're engraving things like rings, so you can easily engrave the inside of a ring. But I'm going to be using that tilting function today for another reason, which you will see in just a moment. Here you can see that the jar that I'm going to be engraving doesn't have vertical sides, and so I thought it might help the engraving process if I tilt it upwards a little bit. I couldn't tilt it far enough for it to be level. It just went too high and the laser wouldn't focus at that level, but it did help tilting it just a little bit. It made a big difference. And I must tell you that this is a time lapse. It does take a long time to get a deep engrave on a stone-like material like this. So yeah, I think it took about 40 minutes. Yeah, quite a long time. And as you can see there, it's white where it's engraved. That is just a residue. If you wash it and give it a real good scrub, all of that comes off. I love that starburst effect on the bottom, and that was from tilting it and also having the image a little bit over the edge, and that's what happened. I didn't expect it to. It's actually going to be covered up, but it looks really good and it's a good thing to remember. So when I've done this technique in the past, I've covered the jar with wax before engraving it, and then I cover it with paint afterwards and just wipe the paint off. It won't stick to the waxed area, and I wanted to try that again with the pink pot, but it didn't quite go to plan. I did something wrong, I don't know what, but I ended up painting it. Never mind. A lot of the things that I make have a cork base, and so the Lumos is very useful for engraving that, and you can put your branding, your signature, a message, some personalisation, anything you like on there, and it will really elevate your finished piece to another level. And as you're about to see here, that finishing touch really does make the world of difference. In the end, I loved my pot. It's got a little bit of added glitter just for some sparkle. And so then I filled it with wax, and now I had a beautiful pink flowery laser engraved candle. Another great way to use the rotary attachment is to engrave napkin rings. I think these will be really popular for weddings, so I decided to engrave 2 of these, and I engraved bride and groom onto them. So these would make really good wedding favours so that the guests can take their engraved napkin ring home. Before we move away from the rotary attachment, I just wanted to show you something which I think is a game changer. I don't actually have it, but I just had to show you. If you have the extension attachment, you can actually connect the rotary attachment to it, as you can see there, and then you can engrave really long items like this baseball bat. Isn't that amazing? I think that is such a game changer and I'm quite excited about that. So you've seen the Lumos in action and there's more of that to come, but it wouldn't be right to not show you what goes on backstage behind the scenes. Let's have a look at the WeCreat Make It software. Now, obviously, if I was going to tell you absolutely everything about the software, it would be a whole video. In fact, probably more than one whole video dedicated to that. So I can't do that. But I'm hoping by just watching what I'm doing here, you will get an idea of how easy it is to use and to see how simple the layout is. It's all very user-friendly. So here I'm designing a keyring for my mum. The design you can see on the left, I actually downloaded that from Creative Fabrica, I think. You can make your own designs in the Make It software, or you can import them. So it's up to you really. Also, there's a lot of designs available within the Make It software, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. So my imported design is ready and it's set to cut, that's why it's red. I've just added the letter M, which is my mum's initial, and that's yellow because it's set to fill engrave. Now I'm just doing some more writing to go on the other side of the keyring. And what this keyring's going to also have is a fob on it for putting it into my mum's shopping trolley when she goes shopping, because where she goes shopping, you have to put a £1 coin into the trolley, and sometimes she forgets to have a £1 coin. So I thought I would make a fob that goes into the trolley and she will never need the £1 coin. So this is just going to be the leather tag. The fob will be coming next. My favourite thing about the Lumos by far is the fact that it has a built-in camera. So no longer do you need to use the framing technique to make sure your material and your image are both aligned. You can use the camera and see exactly where your image is going to go on your screen. When you click refresh, the canvas disappears and you get the camera view. And here you can see there's no material in there. I forgot to put my leather in. So I put the leather in, pressed refresh again, and then I could see exactly where the leather was and move the image over the top. I clicked send and the design went over to my Lumos. I clicked start and there we go. It did the engraving first and then automatically started on the cutting after that. I did set it to do 3 passes. When you're doing leather, it's best not to use too much power or to have it too slow because it will scorch. It's best if you just do it very quick with a lower power and do a few passes. I did 3 passes for this and 4 might have even been better because I'm trying to think, oh no, 3 was fine. I was just thinking that maybe it hadn't gone right through on this, but it had, and there it is. So that needed stitching together and then I just needed to make the fob to go with it. Next week I will have another video for you, and in that video I'm going to be focusing more on colour engraving on metal. But if you can't wait until then, you get to have a little look at how well the Lumos copes with colour engraving in this project now. So because the fob is replacing a pound coin, I wanted to try and get it a golden colour, just like a pound coin. After experimenting with some material test grids, I discovered that the blue diode laser is good for different colours like blues and pinks, but the infrared laser is much better for making yellows and golds and bronzes, and so that's why I used the infrared laser to get my golden yellowy effects. I'm very impressed with the 3-watt infrared laser. It works so well and quickly too. And look at that. Look at that golden colour I got. How cool is that? I was really happy with the results of that. On the other side of the fob, I wanted to have a picture of a shopping trolley and just a simple black circle. And on the left, you'll see the settings I used to get that dark colour. And here it is all finished, and I think that looks really good. So all I needed to do then was attach everything together to make my mum's keyring, and I can't wait to give it to her. She'll probably get a bit confused and wonder how that's going to replace a pound coin, but let's hope it works, eh? Now, in the WeCreat software, in the Discover section, you will find a whole range of ready-made projects that you can just simply add to your canvas and they're ready to go. You do need to pay for membership to get all of these for free, but if you choose to opt for the early bird offer for the Lumos and place your deposit before the 22nd of July, you'll actually get 12 months free premium membership. The actual Make It software is completely free, don't let me confuse you. It's only the membership for some of the special features that you need to pay for. I wanted to show you an acrylic project. I found those fabulous cat earrings and I thought they would be perfect. So this one was very easy and a lot of fun. The Make It software already has quite a lot of material settings already added. So if the setting for what you want is there, you can select it and the job's done for you. Just as before, it did all the engraving first and then it did the cutting. And there was no need to stop and start, it does it all in one go, which I think is very cool. And a couple of minutes later, I was able to take it out and make it into earrings. Making display cards for your jewellery is another very good advantage of having the Lumos laser engraver. Here you can see I'm cutting and engraving a jewellery card all in one go. You should always stay close to your laser engraver when it's working, but it's even more important when it's something very flammable like paper or card. When I was practicing to get the correct settings for my card, I did have an incident where the card started to burn because I had the power too high. Luckily, the Lumos does have a built-in flame detector and it will stop everything when that happens, but you would still need to be there, if something was burning, to stop it from burning. I do have a fire extinguisher close by as well. Another way the Lumos is useful in business is rubber stamp making. You can buy rubber which is specifically for laser engravers. Having the ability to make your own rubber stamps will be useful in business, but also if it's just for a hobby. For this demonstration, I kept it very simple and just did a little paw print. When you're cutting or engraving rubber, it does have a tendency to scorch, so it's a good idea to keep your power quite low and your speed quite high and do a number of passes. So for the cutting, I did 15 passes, which seems a bit extreme, but it stopped it from scorching too much. With hindsight, I wish I'd done more passes on the engraving. I only did 4, and really I don't think it was deep enough because when I stamped with it, I got a little bit of marking from around the back part of the stamp, so it could have been better if I'd gone deeper. So once I'd done that, I decided to do the same thing again, and this time on wood. I made 3 pieces of wood with the same outline that I used to cut the rubber, and this time I engraved the paw print onto the wood on just one of the pieces, and the idea was to stack the pieces together, and then I would have something to hold onto when I'm using my rubber stamp. I used PVA glue and clamped them together while the glue dried, and then I was ready to try it out and see if it worked. And there we go, not perfect, but in my defence I will say that my stamp pad is very old and dried out. But yeah, not bad, is it? You can see the potential there, I'm sure. So now you've seen me make all my items, you might be wondering how much this will cost, because I'm sure I have tempted you. Let's have a look at what the pricing looks like. The early bird offer period started on June the 20th, 2025, and it will continue until the 22nd of July 2025. If you're at all tempted to purchase the Lumos, now is the time in that period to get your deposit down, because the first 500 people will get the free protective cone. And if you don't know what that is, here's a sneaky peek. How cool is that? I want one of those. I think it looks amazing, and there's 500 of those being given away. And on top of that, you get your free 12-month premium membership. So if you look on the right hand column, those are the prices you will pay for the different packs if you purchase before July 22nd, and just compare those figures to the column before that. That's an amazing saving, isn't it? And if you're buying this for business, you will make your money back in no time at all. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed making today's video and working with the Lumos. I think it's fabulous. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you want to take advantage of the special offer that's on right now, please find all the details in my video description. Well, that's everything for today. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.